Hey Taurus, thank you for joining me in the after party. We've got the ambient on, and this is where we get a little bit more in depth. So thank you for your donation. I appreciate it very much. I started to get a little haggard towards the end of the day, but I think the lower energy is pretty good for what we need to dive into for you. So let's get into it. So we were talking about just all the shit you've been through. That's a good enough place to start, right? And I felt kind of bad for leaving the reading on a bit of a downer note, but for you, I really feel like you're handling everything super well. You know, I mean, at least on the outside, right? I know you've probably had your moments lately. We had the Chariot fall out of the deck, so this is telling me that, like, with all the cards that you were getting about being confused as to the direction that you're going in, I mean, frankly, what the rest of your life is going to look like. It makes sense for the Chariot to fall out, because the Chariot is kind of like the crystallization of that energy, the major arcana, the El Jefe of that energy. And all my cards are falling out of my hands. Great. So this is like, what this is telling me is that this is divinely managed for you. This is not some mistake of fate. Yeah, I know you had your plans, and yeah, everything was, even if things weren't exciting before, they were at least stable. And all of this excitement and all of these upheavals, I mean, they've been kind of one step at a time, but still, it's like your absolute very foundations externally are changing, but internally too. And that's this whole Uranus going retrograde situation is now you're going to be making the internal changes, and those are harder sometimes. And, you know, Knight of Swords, you're ready to charge ahead too. You're like, it's almost like you're tired of, you've been in this sort of holding pattern, and you're ready to move forward, and you're like, I'm ready to go. I just need a green light anywhere. Does anybody have a green light for me? And yes, they do. Again, around the end of the month with that new moon in your 10th house, or full moon in your 10th house, yeah, you will be getting some sort of green light, some sort of direction. You could even expect it as soon as the 8th with this Lionsgate portal, if you're in the right alignment for it. And by that I mean, you know, if everything else in your personal chart lines up with that. Not if you've done something wrong or you're out of alignment or something. No, that's not what I mean. Okay. So we then get the Lovers and the Queen of Swords. So if you've been involved with an air sign, so an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, if you've been through like a breakup or a separation or something, that is indicated here. And I hope that you find a little bit of consolation in the fact that this is showing up in the cards, because this isn't, if it's showing up in the cards for you, this is not a mistake. This is something that was in the cards for you. This is, you haven't made a wrong turn. You're exactly where you need to be, as hard as that might be to hear. But so maybe this separation, this could be a business partner, and this could even be you just being separated from your truth if you haven't been speaking up. So that's another permutation of this energy. It's got you feeling kind of powerless. This is the Magician. He's supposed to go this way, but he's not. He's this way. He's pointing, let's all notice that he's pointing his wand in the wrong direction. Are you pointing your intentions in the wrong direction? Do you even know if you are? Probably not. You will by the end of August, for sure, know where you've maybe the direction that you've been going in didn't really match up to the reality that you're living. You're still living in that other reality and expecting the rules to be the same. They're not. They're not. You've got more coming to you now because you've been able to make all of these changes. And yeah, I mean, even that breakup or that separation or you being forced out of something that was very comfortable and stable is actually going to bring you this. Now, the fuck is this, right? This is the 10 of Pentacles. This is really good. Like, this is wealth. This is financial stability. This is resources. Resources, in a lot of cases, are far better to have than money. This means the ability to make your own fate here, which is what you really want, right? Tired of being pulled around. So yeah, you are being led, and all you have to do is get into alignment with what is, not what you were hoping for, not what you were living before. Just get really in touch with reality. Take stock of all the changes that have happened. Give yourself time to think about it. And there is an element here coming in for you where, Taurus, you might need to get angry. Have you let yourself get angry? I mean, sure, on a spiritual level, you know, we can be like, everything happens for a reason. And even though I don't understand, like, everything I've just been saying, right? But still, those emotions need to get expressed. That anger, that disappointment, you have a tendency to bottle things up. I hate that fly that keeps buzzing around. I just want to say that. Yeah, you got to express that. Even if it's just to yourself, just acknowledge it. You're not, you're not belly aching. You're not going, oh, woe is me, because that's not your style, right? But let yourself sit with the grief for a second. You know, it will be healing because it will pass. If you really experience it, as opposed to trying to shut out the pain, you know, what you resist persists. So the more you try to shut it out, the more it's just going to backfire on you and pop up in weird fucking ways, right? So take a minute to acknowledge yourself and your inner world and your inner monologue and all of the opportunities that you feel you should have been given that you just weren't. Because there's been some mysteries around that, eh? Things looked like they were going to pan out, and then poof, they don't pan out. Even though everything was pointing at this one thing happening, the thing doesn't happen, and you're, pardon me, we're at the after party, so I'm going to say you're sitting with your dick in your hand going, what the fuck just happened, right? And you're like, well, that's ended. That's done with. What now? But no, that thing that you thought was done is actually going to come around and be a win somehow. How is that possible? Let's look at that. That opportunity that passed you by actually sets you up to be able to accept a better one. And one that's more in alignment with your skill sets, one that's more in alignment with what it is that you want. And there's this refreshing new bit of energy, Page of Swords, coming through. So it's like you gave up this Queen of Swords energy. And again, this could be a person. This could even be something that you were, an intellectual concept that you were holding on to too hard, a thought you were holding on to, a plan you were holding on to. And then that gets pulled from you. And then you get this brand new replacement for it. Not that if it's a partner that person can be replaced, you know what I mean, just go with it. And then you get this communication comes through that confirms it. So this could be a phone call, this could be a text, this could be an email, this could just be a synchronicity that gives you the confirmation that you need. And then you go, oh, okay, this actually is happening for some kind of reason that I can't get my fucking head around. But I have a feeling that the more that you're able to sit and process the feelings that you may have been putting to the side just so that you can keep going, you know, the more that you can sit and process those things, the greater the reward's going to be for you this month. So I'm going to take a drink real quick. I'm getting kind of croaky. It was that Aries video. I did the Aries video earlier, and Aries always wants to talk a lot. Okay. So, oh, let's see, what fell out? Okay. If you are dealing with a Libra or with an earth sign, perhaps of feminine persuasion, so another Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn, if you had to walk away from them or they had to walk away from you, there is a new equilibrium coming through, either because of their departure, as a result of their departure, or actually within that relationship, if it still exists, if you're still on speaking terms. If something has been, as an alternative, if that didn't resonate with you, doesn't apply to you, if there was a situation that felt really unfair, and that kind of messed with your ability to get money, if that's a situation that you walked away from and you were worried about walking away from that, that is going to resolve itself as well in a way that is more positive for you. So it's whatever left, it was, you were just holding off the inevitable anyway. It was going to happen one way or the other. That energy had to be cleared out of your life. That cycle had to end. It was scripted to end. And again, we have the Queen of Swords, this time with the Ace of Pentacles. So things have a funny way. I have a feeling that something is going to come right back around for you in a different way. It's like shuffling the deck. The deck gets shuffled and then the aces pop out. You know, your hand is better. And whatever was unfair and unbalanced before actually becomes your compass. It's like, okay, you learned from that situation. What was out of balance there? And then you go, okay, well, this is my new priority. I know that this thing needs to be in balance, or this relationship or this work situation or whatever it is. This is the balance that I need. This is the equilibrium that I need. And I can't bend too far this way or too far that way. So that becomes your new equilibrium point, where you know something more about yourself, about how you operate in relationships, how you operate in work situations. And you're able to directly rectify it and have your circumstances reflect that new awareness that you have. 2 more popped. Okay. So again, I mean, I've been shuffling this whole time, and I've got the Ace of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles again. So, Taurus, are you being really stubborn right now as you're listening to me? Did I say something? Did I say something wrong? Did I hit on it too hard? I don't know, because this needs to be reinforced. Let's look at this a different way. If you're not saying what is on your mind, fuck this fly right now. If you're not saying what's on your mind, you're not being fully honest with yourself and with other people, you're gonna block these coins, the money, the prosperity, the resources. I'm hearing real estate. I'm seeing a house for some of you. I don't know. So even go so far as to write it down. Write down what you want. Write down what you're thinking about. Are you actually listening to yourself? Are you humoring your own desires? You writing them off? Take yourself more seriously, Taurus. Take yourself seriously. The rest of us do. I know it doesn't seem like it lately, and I'm sorry if you've been feeling like you're disposable or replaceable, because you're not, and you never will be. And the people that think that you are being systematically removed. And if you've been dragging your heels with the changes that Uranus wants to make for you, if you've been resisting those changes, baby, now's the time to get on board. Because when you resist, it makes that planet have to work all the more hard and be rough with you and just snatch your safety, your security blanket away. So surrender a little bit. Just surrender and be open to questioning yourself in a way that still takes what you want and what you think seriously. You are valid. It's just things are, the deck is shuffling. I'm confusing myself now even. I hope this makes sense to you. I love you, Taurus. Don't tell the other signs, but you're kind of my favorite. Thank you for hanging out in the after party. Next time, we'll have more fun. As long as you're listening to Uranus. We'll have more fun next time, okay? Don't get caught with your pants down. What's my hair doing? Okay, love you, bye.